So, I love going to thrift stores and finding cheap crap that no one wanted, and that's why it's at a thrift store. Now, typically, Apple things never lose their value, or they lose it very slowly. Now, what do you do if you're in my situation? You're at a thrift store and you see a Mac Mini on the shelf. Well, obviously, you look at it. What, are you crazy? You don't like computers? Get out. Get out now. This Mac Mini, I kid you not, was $6. Six. Not 6D, not 600, six. You don't make this stuff up. So, of course, I bought it because I'm insane. This right here was the first power on test I did outside of the store, and believe it or not, it actually turned on. And of course, it had someone's data still on it because, that's just how it is with used computers. The password hint was golf, and I got nothing for that. Thankfully, guest user was enabled, so I could just use that, and it actually works, and I could get some info about it. It's got a Core i7 at 2.3 gigahertz with 4 gigs of RAM and no dedicated graphics, unfortunately. After reaching out to a friend who knows more about Macs than me, I was actually able to reset the default user password and get into the main account, which kept asking me for some kind of login. I don't know. There's also an email client open in the back, as well as some kind of printer software. I don't know, man. Thankfully, I was actually able to update macOS X to Yosemite so that I could update it to another unsupported version of macOS, which is Monterey. I think that's how you say it. So I let the thing update, specifically because OpenCore wouldn't run on, I can't remember what version of macOS this was running when I got it, but it wouldn't run on that one. I think it was the one before Yosemite. I'll put that on screen now. Thankfully, it went pretty quickly. The update took about an hour, so... And by the end of the night, I was actually installing macOS Monterey, which, thank God, that took forever. By the end of the night, I was installing Monterey, which, thank God, and took forever, and I learned how to macOS somewhat. And this is a picture from the next morning, and yep, it's working. As I previously mentioned, I do not know how to macOS, and I'm still learning. But I gotta install my home turf, and that's Windows. I'm sorry. I know it's a Mac, but still. I want a usable computer, okay? And thankfully, Windows actually installed like crap because it's Windows. Yeah, the boot camp partition that it made just wouldn't work. Windows said, it can't be installed here, even after formatting that partition and doing all sorts of weird crap. It finally just installed to a partition that I didn't even make or create. I don't know why it was there. Yep, sell my organs to Microsoft. Next. I did get Windows activated through that GitHub tool that everyone's been talking about. But what about gaming, you say? Relax, fellow gamer. I know. Gaming fun. But there's one game I've been wanting to play for years, and that's Team Fortress 2. So of course I played it in Windows on a Mac Mini from 2012. And you know what? This thing actually runs it pretty well. Get sniped, idiot. How did I do that? Got him. What are we at right now? What is that? What does that say? 71, 76, 73 FPS on all low settings? For a $6 computer, I was expecting way worse. Especially from 2012. Oh, come on! I'm trying to do a voiceover here. So, I didn't realize until I was editing this that the Team Fortress gameplay is a square. This is all my fault. I'm sorry. I was playing this on another great purchase from a thrift store, and I had to set it to a weird resolution because that thing's weird. Maybe it'll get its own video at some point. But I never switched it back. It looked fine on my monitor, but then capturing it, it's a square. I'm sorry. Forgive me. No. And yeah, believe it or not, I'm actually editing this on the $6 Mac Mini. There it is. With all of my great cable management. And yeah, it edits great. I put 16 gigs of RAM in it, up from 4, because, 4 gigs of RAM ain't great for video editing. And Yep, I'm using macOS, everyone. That's really the only reason I still have macOS, is because it's kind of just better for editing than Windows. And last time I checked, CapCut wasn't available for Windows, so you know, is Mac is good. That pretty good. And yeah, it's still running Monterey. Where's it at here? Yep, there it is. I've considered updating it to like Ventura or hell, even Sonoma, but I'm fine with this for now. If you know Apple stops giving me security updates or something, I might update. I'll consider it. Future upgrade plan is get an SSD for it because that hard drive be slow. And yes, it's a mechanical hard drive. I didn't mention that, but I mean it's great. I barely use Mac OS. I mostly just use Windows, but you know when I do use Mac OS, it's pretty good. Like I don't know how to use it very well, but I can use it. And yeah, it's good. You watched a video edited on it, and you probably didn't even know. So yeah, come back next time when I buy more stupid crap at a thrift store.